Alrighty guys, let's get going. Alrighty guys, we are starting to get a little bit on the outskirts of the airspace here, so I did turn your microphones back on. Please use those to talk to each other too, right? Doesn't just have to be me. But do remember everybody can hear you though, so no secrets or anything like that on the helicopter. But certainly do ask me as many questions as you want, or feel free to complain about my flying or make fun of my music or whatever makes you happy with those microphones.
What's our approximate ground speed?
Sorry, get the mic a little closer to your mouth there, brother. Couldn't hear you at all.
What's the approximate ground speed?
I can tell you our exact ground speed. We're doing 104 knots. Makes it about 120 miles an hour or so. How are my volumes for everybody? Everybody can hear me okay? Music's not too loud for anybody? Do let me know if that changes. I am on a different sound system, so I don't hear what you guys hear. Easy thing to change, just a couple of buttons down on my fancy touchscreen down here. So please, if something's too loud or too quiet, don't let it bother. Just let me know. It's also why sometimes you hear me stop talking even mid-sentence. I still do talk to air traffic control. I also talk with all the other birds in the air. So if I don't answer a question or if I look distracted, promise I'm not trying to be rude or ignore anybody. I just need to take care of some pilot stuff from time to time. Eric, just out here, when you see this little point in the island coming out here, this is Kaloli Point. Just about halfway down Kaloli Point, you see a pretty good line where all the homes begin. Or you can follow that house line all the way, disappear into the rain showers up there. This house line is pretty much the dividing line between Mauna Loa and Kilauea volcanoes. This island made of 5 different volcanoes. It's just tough to tell where one begins and the next one ends, because hundreds of thousands of years, all the lava flows, they've all just intermingled and created one big plot of Earth. So you have to look at a chart, and those charts, they divide Mauna Loa and Kilauea right here, right where these homes start. All 5 volcanoes that make up this island are all still active volcanoes. This volcano right here, Kilauea, most active volcano on the entire planet. Currently erupting. Can't even see the lava shooting in the air. Just off the right. You see all the little columns of smoke rising? It's a big old lava fountain rising up over there.
That mountain Fissure 8?
Yeah, it's Fissure 8. That's the one you've been hearing about so much. It's the only one producing any lava right now. It's just Fissure 8. Pretty spectacular, though. Pretty unique volcanoes. You know, we don't have those really violent, very explosive eruptions like St. Helens or Vesuvius, or like the news makes it sound like it's happening right here. Those violent, very explosive volcanoes, those are a different type of volcano. Those are subduction volcanoes. Here in Hawaii, our volcanoes are shield volcanoes. Ours are built through an entirely different process. That's why we behave so different. That's why we look very different too. We don't have the steep sides that everybody associates with volcanoes. Much more rounded, much more gentle slopes. Very small, localized eruptions. Shield volcanoes. Another unique thing about our volcanoes is we can have an eruption absolutely anywhere. It doesn't just have to be at the summit. Clearly this is not the summit of Kilauea. So this is just where all the lava is. And even just on this one volcano, Kilauea, we're currently erupting at 3 different spots. You won't find that on any other volcanoes in the world. That only happens here in Hawaii. More than one eruption on the same volcano at the same time. So this is our latest eruption. This one just started beginning of last month. And this is the only one producing any lava right now. That's why we come out here. But there is another eruption at the summit of Kilauea, just like people expect, the summit eruption. That one's been going on since 2008. But in the 10 years that it's been erupting, it has yet to produce any lava. All the lava has remained well contained in the crater. In fact, right now you can't even see any because it's all dropped down and it's heading on down here. This is where the lava is. So the summit eruption, the Hale Ma'u crater, that's producing a bunch of smoke and ash right now. Some of the ash plumes are pretty spectacular, though. I mean, we had one rise 30,000 feet into the air a couple weeks ago. And right in between the two, about halfway up the hill, there's the Pu'u'o'o vent. The Pu'u'o'o vent's been erupting since January 3rd, 1983. 35 years, non-stop eruption. It's still erupting right now, it's just not producing any lava. Just like the summit eruption, it's only producing smoke and ash. But up until the eruption started here in Leilani, it was the Pu'u'o vent that was producing all the lava. But this is beginning of April. The geologists started tracking the lava moving down the East Rift. Where we are right here is on the East Rift. And that lava was moving down the rift into collecting right here in Leilani, building up more and more pressure. Until finally it was May 3rd when the earth couldn't hold it anymore, opened up and had the first eruption here at Leilani. Fissure 8 off in the distance, and you could follow the black patch just north of the green hills over there, arching around and finally coming down, hitting the ocean right here. Up until Saturday, this was a bay right here. This was Kapoho Bay, and this is the town of Kapoho. Looks like we have another house just caught on fire off to the right. See all the black smoke rising off the homes, and the flickering orange flames right there.
Kapoho is like really gone.
I'm sorry, what's that?
No, Kapoho is like really gone. I don't believe what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's almost completely gone. So I read a report yesterday. The civil defense is estimating about 300 homes lost here at Kapoho.
Kind of hard to see from this seat.
Oh, good thing we're turning it. Look at this. Woohoo.
Awesome.
It's even fun to turn, isn't it?
How much lava go out from the volcano?
I'm sorry, what was that?
If you know how much lava go out from the volcano, volume or mass?
You know, I don't even know that the geologists know exactly how much lava is coming out right now. I can tell you there's a lot. A whole lot, for that matter. So the lava first hit the ocean back last Saturday. Not last Saturday, this most recent Saturday. And it completely filled in the bay. The bay was about a mile wide and about 3/4 miles deep. Completely filled it in just over a day. And then you see the little section of earth that's extending out. It built that new section of earth as well. So almost a mile that it's come out from where the old shoreline used to be. So it's added quite a bit of earth to the island so far. can see that fissure again, just off to the left of the steam. That's what's feeding these lava flows right down here. Excuse me, that's a lava fountain coming out of Fissure 8. 22 different fissures have opened up in this whole area. You can see a bunch of little columns of smoke all coming out of the earth, almost in a line right there. Each one of those columns of smoke is its individual fissure. Eric, you can see these little black paths that are coming down the island right here. Those were lava flows entering the ocean just about 3 weeks ago. You can follow those up. You look in the big gaps in the clouds, you can see there's a little smoke in the hill right on the ridge line. That's Fissure 20. That's the lava. That's the fissure that was feeding these lava flows right here. See, these clouds don't let us get a close-up peek of Fissure 8 as it's fountaining here. It's almost directly off the nose. You see a bunch of big gaps in the clouds. I'm hoping we'll get a good view of it here. Oh yeah, there's a big, you can even see that river of lava that's starting that lava flow going into the ocean over there. Of course, this is why we are the biggest island. Huh? So we're the only island directly over the volcanic hotspot. That's why all the volcanoes are active volcanoes. There's only one other active volcano on any island, and that's Haleakala over on Maui. But Maui's almost completely off the hotspot, so Haleakala doesn't erupt very often. Last eruption was over 300 years ago. So Maui's shrinking, just like all the other islands, whereas we're actually growing.
Look at how the water color is all changed just around this area, then it gets blue again.
That's all the sand getting churned up from where the lava's going into the ocean. So you'll see a slight discoloration like this on all the little points on the island. It's just way exaggerated right here. Because not only the normal turbulence of the surf churning up the sand, but also the boiling ocean water. And then of course the largest contributing factor is when the lava hits the ocean, it doesn't always make rock. Quite often it'll scatter, become sand, creates a big suspension in the ocean, and then the tides carry it out. That's why it's really almost a brown color as you're right where the lava's going to the ocean. And then as that suspension starts to dissipate, you get kind of that green color, and then it'll fade on out. Sometimes you get a hard line where the green ends, and then the blue begins. It just depends on how the tides are working.
So to the left of us, there's just another house being burnt, huh?
Yeah, indeed. Whenever you see the black smoke like that, that's something burning. That's not just lava. And yeah, that's a home. Show you out on the point right here. You see another big black area of earth right here. See some roads in that one, so obviously that's an older lava flow. This one's from 1960, right here. That lighthouse that we see standing, that little metal tower, that lighthouse has survived 2 different lava flows. First got built in 1940, and then the first time lava came ran over was 1942. Burned that little house that's right next to it, but structure stays standing. And then they rebuilt that house, relit the light, and then it survived up until 1960 when this lava flow came through, and again burned the little house next to it, but the tower survived. Relit it, it's been shining ever since.
Is it a metal structure?
Yeah, it's a metal structure. So metal melts at a much higher temperature than Earth, so that's why it's able to survive. And it's not a traditional lighthouse, you know, made of stone, and they got the house like right at the bottom of it. So it's just an old, ugly tower, but it's strong.
All right, directly above the lighthouse. What fissure is that again? 20.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the first hill right there, that's not part of this current eruption. That's an old eruption right there.
No, but follow the lighthouse and go straight up. What's that glow all the way at the top?
Oh, that glow, it's the same glow. Any glow that you see for right now, it's all Fissure 8. Yeah, that's the only one producing lava right now, is Fissure 8. Actually, don't. So I can just barely see it. Yeah, it's on the. Maybe you're confusing because it looks like it's coming out of that big hill right there, but it's not. It's coming out behind it. You can just barely see it. As we get a little further on the other side of that big hill, see how it's moving? Starting to come into view completely now. There you go. So that's what it was. And the fissures don't run in sequential order. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They number in the order in which they opened. So, you know, you'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all over the place. So I don't know each individual fissure. I only know Fissure 8 because it's a big deal right now. And I know Fissure 20 because that was a big deal a couple weeks ago. Those are really the only ones I know. If the pilot tells you he knows each individual fissure, he's probably lying to you. I think it's pretty amazing how quickly all the vegetation grows back. I mean, the lava rock, it looks so barren, it looks like you're never going to grow anything out of it. But it's exceptionally fertile, as you can see. A lot of nitrogen in the rock, a lot of iron as well. That's how we get all the red rock and the red dirt and the red sand. All the iron in the rock is starting to rust. And certainly plenty of sulfur from all the volcanic ash. That's why everything grows back so big and lush and green and so quickly. The very first vegetation will often start growing back within just the first 3 years. Alright guys, bear with me just a sec. I need to switch off for a little bit and talk with air traffic control, but I'll get the microphones turned back on just as soon as I can. Alrighty guys, thanks for that. We are just making our way on back into some controlled airspace here. So once again, just like on the way out, do forgive me if I stop talking mid-sentence or maybe ask you to repeat a question. I'll just be talking with towers. We're getting closer to town here. When you follow the shoreline, you can see there's a little bay right out my window right here. Little white roofed building coming into view just behind it. That is the Shipman family summer home. Might recognize if you've seen the latest Jumanji, because that's where a lot of that was filmed. So the Shipman family summer home. But the Shipman family is one of three families used to own the whole island. Shipmans, the Lymans, and the Bishops. The Shipmans and the Bishops were sugarcane families. That's why they had so much land. That used to be our number one industry. Just that one crop was our number one industry. Completely gone now, though. Our last export was 95, and our last plantation closed down in 96. And when the sugar left town, the Shipman family left town, and really that's all they have anymore. Not bad for a summer home, though, yeah. Better than my summer home, which is my winter home, too.
Are below us?
Sorry, you need to get that microphone right on your mouth there. I couldn't hear you at all.
Do you know what kind of crops these are below us?
That big farm that we just passed, that's macadamia nuts. These are rambutan and the papaya just behind us. Good view of Hilo here, Devin, just out my window. That's our big old bustling metropolis of Hilo. Surprisingly, Hilo is the second biggest city in the entire state of Hawaii. You could drive from one end of our town to the other in 10 minutes. Second biggest city in the entire state of Hawaii. starting to come into view some scars from old sugarcane days. As you start going north along the coast here, you see all these big open green meadow areas. Whenever you see a big open meadow like this in the middle of the rainforest, it's always an old sugarcane plantation. When the sugar barons left town back in the 1990s, they didn't replant all the trees that they tore down to grow the sugar. So it left these big open green meadow areas like this. Thanks, guys. Guys, enjoy the rest of your stay. We're good to take off our belts and our headsets now, too.
Thanks, Derby.